All right. Bear with me while I get all the other screens go, making it look like I'm staring off into the abyss. Wonderment. Come on, Facebook Live. All right. Welcome to another webinar from Mobile Tech RX. Today we are going to discuss all about the parts inside of Mobile Tech RX. We're going to discuss adding parts to our estimate, talking about order parts, how to add custom parts, everything involving our parts section. So just remember, we've got our little disclaimer up here. Any dollar amount shown that I say do poke into the system, that is not a guideline that you should be charging. You know, you need to set your own rates and follow your own pricing procedures. The only other thing I will add today, I've got my window open. It is a beautiful day here. I'm in South Dakota. So if you hear the turkeys, that is not me. That is actually going to be the turkeys outside in my yard. The boys are getting pretty restless that time of the year. That's the only traffic that we have where I'm at. Just, you know, for those of you who are working in the city today, we only have to dodge turkeys in my neighborhood. That's it. Just a few turkeys. So let's slip on in here. I'm going to bring up some pointers here just a little bit. The parts system is just that. It is true parts. Now, right now, we're going to be able to just pop in and do OEM parts. We can manually input everything else. We haven't gone down the road of linking in on any of the aftermarket suppliers, anything like that. For those of you that want to know why, there's a lot of options to choose from. OEM is just OEM. But when it comes to aftermarket, there are so many different aftermarket companies that we would have to try to include them all to make everybody happy, and it is a massive undertaking, perhaps someday. So to begin, we're just going to go into parts. Now, I've preloaded the same Toyota that I have picked on for every single one of these webinars. So that poor Toyota is in here again. This time we're going to go ahead and throw some parts onto it. For those of you that only use your phone, you have both of these screens. They're just right and left. Swipe right to left and you'll see one. The list view, of course, always has more items. You know, we couldn't, obviously, like the two mirrors that you see here, you couldn't keep putting dots all around the car. So that's why we give you both the list view and the icon view. And always at the very end, you can add your own custom panel if you need to add just anything that's not in our list view or on our other views. So to start with, we're just going to go ahead and poke this right front door. This will automatically come to this screen if you enter it from the Hail screen, any other screen that links you into the parts. So it'll automatically label that door. Here, we're just going to go ahead from the parts section, and we're going to add the OEM. So we get our choice, body or electrical. And here's where some people have a few questions. And I'll kind of go through this. This is entering into a partner program that we've gotten access to. So we don't get to decide how this rules out. When you go into the body section, we don't get to make it automatically go into the doors. We hope to down the road, but right now we're just going to go through the flow, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing this webinar today, is to help break this down. A lot of people see this door and components when we're after mostly just the moldings. And if you go into the door and components, you get this breakdown and you can't find any moldings. We'll remove that eraser too. What we're after, you know, and the majority of our users, paint, body, PDR, that's going to be getting into this, you're going to be doing these down here with the exterior trims. And that's the number one area that we're going to deal with. So if we're on this right front door, we're going to come in, we have the belt moldings. Now up top, we have a 1 and a 2. And if you'll notice that the 1 is highlighted in white, the number 2 is still grayed out. That means we have 2 screens on this breakdown. So if we swipe or tap each of the numbers, we can see the other list. Now, sometimes they have a much larger list, or they've broken it down even further. Again, this is all the same list view that a dealer's parts house, if you go in and look at the dealer's parts house, will have that same view. I urge you some caution when you're picking your parts, especially when it comes to these belt moldings. A lot of vehicles have the option to have chrome or black, and it will list it right down here by this part number. It'll say chrome or black right over into here. So make sure that you are selecting the proper part, because when you click to order, it's all automated. It's going to send whatever you tell it to send and whatever you have clicked on. So make sure you know if you're picking up a bright or a chrome versus a black molding. When we select our molding, in this case we did the right front door, we did the belt molding. We're going to get a picture of the belt molding. We can scroll those screens over, and here we see that Toyota has a little bit of a disclaimer here. It says part or subassembly is number 1 in the diagram. The diagram may not be specific to your vehicle. That note is there. You're going to see it. If you swipe over again, you see that you did select number 1. Each of these are going to be the dealerships. Generally, it's the 5 closest dealerships to wherever you are in the country. So when you first click on parts, if you haven't allowed us to have the Mobile Tech RX app to have access to your location, you're going to want to do that, because it's going to need to pick out the dealers that are within the parts program that we have access to and get you a list of those dealers. And in that, we see a breakdown of list price and cost here. This is full-on list price. This is what everybody sees. This is what Joe Schmo pays, you know, when they walk in off the street to the dealership. And the cost is after the dealership has given its discount, or the discount that they have negotiated when they entered into the parts program. And you'll see right here that that cost can vary from dealer to dealer. It is completely up to you as to which dealer you pick. Just do be aware when you pick your dealership, and we'll use this Boulder Toyota here. We're going to go ahead and add that. Now we can add more parts to the panel, or when we say done, it's just going to run us right back into this screen. Even if we meant to add more parts, we can just re-click that right front door. We can go right back into the exactly where we were. So let's say we forgot we needed to add that number 2 molding into it. So now we can click it. Now we see that this Larry Miller Toyota of Boulder is the only option that we get. That is because when you're ordering the parts through the Mobile Tech RX app, you only get to order from 1 dealer at a time. We can't split it all up to half a dozen different dealerships. All the parts for just this estimate will now be added to this Larry H. Miller Toyota Boulder. Toyota. Sorry about that. So we can do that. We can add, if your dealership that you prefer to have is not on that, right down here at the bottom, we have this refer a dealer. Don't see your local dealer, refer a dealer. If you click that, that will take you into the back end of the back office portal, and you can sign up for your dealership. Now, I do have another tutorial video. You can see our YouTube page or our Facebook channel. Our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. I'm batting 1,000 today. And there is a tutorial video showing you how to fill that out and what all that entails. It's only a 2.5-minute video, I believe. So if you do have your favorite dealer, you want them part of this program, go ahead, sign them up, and they will get in contact. So here we can add this second panel. Then this time we can say that we're done. If we pick another door, if we want to add anything else, whether it be aftermarket, OEM, manual, if we're going to do manual, we don't want to, what we're after, you just couldn't find it, anything. If you need to type in a custom, you can just type it here, hit done, then you've added a custom part. If you need to add R&I, paint, refinish, anything else, you can just link to it right from here. This is some of the features that came about on the redesign, allowing you to have those features right there. When you're clicking aftermarket, we put in a list of what is going to be the most common things that are going to be attached to that panel. And again, custom is always custom. When you add the tail light and you want to put it aftermarket, you click it done. What you're going to need to do is scroll down here to the quarter panel in the list view, and you can see where we added that tail light. Then here we can add what the list price for this tail light is on this car. If we need to enter any part number, we can add that part number. We can check whether we've received the part or whether or not we're adding it to a supplement just by these two check boxes here. When we, if you're adding, you know, and we need to add an additional part to a panel in the list view, we can just click right here, right on the add a part. And if we're doing used, again, we brought up that same list. We can throw that in there. But then we need to come in and we need to add that price. For those of you on the old system to the new system, we used to have a page on the old system that had a list of all of your parts, and ultimately that wasn't what it was. It wasn't a breakdown of the parts. It was because on the left-hand side of that column, you had to tell it which panel you needed to put those parts to, because we didn't have these screens. This was all part of the redesign and the cleanup of the part system. Several of you have gotten in contact with me and asked about why you can't see that view. So I'll show you a little bit of a shortcut outside of using the print preview. And here we're going to hit the three dots in the upper right-hand corner. We're going to bring that column up. And the delete part, now it's not an auto delete, but if you press that delete part, this will bring you up your whole list of every single part that you put in the system. And one of the things, what it is, when you guys contacted me and asked about where this screen was, and one of the things that you liked about it is you can see here on this right rear door, I did not put in a price. Sometimes we get interrupted when we're writing estimates as we're running around the car. It's real easy to forget to do one simple maneuver. And if we go to that right side menu, we click the delete part, don't click any of these checkboxes right through here and then press this button afterwards, unless you intend to wipe everything out and delete it and you want to start over. But don't check these unless you're ready to delete anything. This gives you the list that you get to scroll through and just make sure, and it's only the parts added. We'll press the cancel when we're done. It just cleans up versus scrolling up and down the list view in here. When it comes time to order your parts and you have you've got everything added in, the estimate has been improved, you come in here and you click just that shopping cart right down here. It's going to be on the icon view. It's not at the base of the list view at all. It's only right here on the icon view. Tap that shopping cart and this is going to break you into the parts ordering screen. So because we're doing OEM, the OEM system is kind of set up to be pretty much automated. You got the phone number should you need to call the dealership. You have the parts. If you need to add a custom note, enter it down here. And I would encourage you all, for those of you who know that I'm a huge fan of text replacement, I would encourage you all to just build a text replacement note that says, if there's any problems, questions, back orders, please call me, and my contact name and phone number, and also my email address. Even though you're going to have all this information put in, it's just a reminder to a parts department parts guy, because you're not calling, because you're doing this completely automated. it's going to just send that off, and you don't have that connection. It's no different than entering the email. But verify everything that you need on this screen and then click the Order OEM button. This is going to run you right into the checkout screen. Once you're in this checkout screen, you're basically in that dealership's ordering screen. So one of the things that we're going to see right here is they recommend the VIN number. The system is not set up where it allows us to port that VIN number directly into the parts ordering. So a very quick way to go ahead and not have to type that VIN number in is we can come over here into print preview, and I'll just bring up the estimate. And then I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to tap and hold right here. And then I'm going to copy. From here, I can go right back into that parts ordering screen. And for the VIN number, I can just do a paste. Very basic, very simple. I don't have to copy. I know you have to reverse a couple of steps, but right now that's the only option, is we do have to go through those couple of steps. Go ahead, you're going to have to put in all of your information. You can also add another note to the seller, but if you already did it in the last one, they're going to have that. You're going to have your order summary over here, and then just go ahead and click continue to payment, where you can put in your credit card and automatically order those parts. I'm not going to go through that full on, for obvious reasons. When you're doing your aftermarket, your used, your other, and anything manual that you have put in, here you can enter any supplier name that who it is that you ordered it from, put in their phone number. You can record your list and your cost prices, and then you can mark this ordered and select the date. Now, you can manually input this in the OEM section, but after you click that order screen, it will automatically apply this information. If you have an order number, you can go ahead and put that order number in right here. Just basically all for your reference, and all of those are the same on that screen. And I would encourage you, if you are ordering from a salvage yard or aftermarket supply house, to go ahead and mark your date ordered. It really is a great frame of reference. For those of you that this is the first time you're really getting into ordering parts, doing this for the very first time ever, anytime you're not doing one of the automated screens, mark the date that you ordered and check it as ordered, because if there's ever a question, you need that date referenced. So make sure that you select that. Don't just skip onto that step. Back into the list view, cover one more thing here, and the adding of a custom panel. So if we add this custom panel, and I'm not sure what a custom here is, but here it is. We'll go ahead and we tap that panel. We can go to OEM, aftermarket, used, other. Again, exact same screen. So if we go into the OEM, it is going to take us right back into here. In the electrical section, there's everything. One thing I do want to bring up to you guys and gals, when you're in here in the OEM parts, it is literally OEM parts. So when you're in the electrical, right here, we notice combination lamps. If you have to buy a headlight, for those of you that are doing the paint touch up, hard smashes, whatever, if a light got broke, you're going to find it in the electrical section. You got your bulbs, and I believe the tail lights should be down. Your wipers are also found in here. Your rear doors. There's just tons and tons of your OEM parts within the OEM parts section. If you were adding anything other, once again, you're doing a different custom part. So this time when we click on it, we've added that under the custom. So now we've got custom. We have our part. We can go ahead. We can enter our part number. We can go ahead and enter our price, and then we can do list and cost. So I hope this really kind of helps everybody understand the breakdown inside of Mobile Tech in the parts. Remember, anytime you have any questions, you have anything that you would like to know, feel free to go ahead and add those. Here I am poking random screens here. If you do have your dealer, though, please, if you want them part of it, do watch that tutorial, fill out that, recommend that dealer. We try to get as many added as we can. To my knowledge, there's a little over 800. I don't know exactly how many dealership programs. The parts, for those of you that might be tuning in or watching this from anywhere outside of the US, that's going to also include Canada. This is only inside of the United States right now. The parts program that we access is not worldwide, and it has not gone up into Canada. So for right now, this is US parts only. As things change, of course, I will naturally update everybody and put the word out as fast as possible. For those of you that do not want to order those parts automated, I know there's several of you out there. In the print preview, you can just bring up the parts list. This is also a second point of reference over your parts list. One of the things that I get asked, and I wanted to bring up while we were doing this, you notice there's no parts prices listed on here. That's because we can't say what any dealership outside of the group that we have access to is doing for its parts pricing. That would be us trying to tell them what it is that their price is. It's no different than me trying to tell you what kind of pricing you should charge. So that's why there's no pricing put on here, because whatever other dealership there that you want to use, anything like that, we're not telling them what the parts pricing is. That's going to be between you and them and the agreement that you have with them. However, you do have this sheet. You can print this sheet off, or you can email it off. And if you want to email it to your favorite parts house, then go ahead. You can just email it, put your notes attached to the email. If you want to print and fax, in case you have a dealership that is not in the present date, you can go ahead and fax that off, print it right on out. And so I really hope this helps everybody understand a little bit more of how the parts system is in there, how it works. You know, if you're using the list view, just poke add a part and go right down through it. Any questions, you guys can type them out now. It looks like either I'm doing a phenomenal job or I've confused you guys so much that you don't have a clue what I'm talking about. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. You can reach out to us on our Facebook page at Mobile Tech RX. Leave us a note, ask us questions. You can email anything for tech support. That's help@mobiletechrx.com. You can call our tech support line. It's 888-626-6750. If you ever have any questions, need assistance, you can like me, John Renstrom, on Facebook. Like Mobile Tech RX, ask us questions, ask me questions, send me a private message. Anything that you need to know. If I can't help you, I'm going to send you to somebody in our organization that really can assist. Remember, all these videos can be found on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel and so like and follow us on Facebook. And I'm trying to do better on Instagram for those of you who are hot to trot and heavily use Instagram. So with that said, take care. I hope this really helps you all, and reach out. Let us know if there's anything. If there's a specific topic that you would like to see me do a webinar about, go ahead and send that off to us. Let me know, and I'll see if I can get it into the queue. As soon as I get decided what our next one's going to be, I think I'm going to have a co-host. We're going to try and arrange that for next week. I will go ahead and get that word out and put it up. So take care, everybody. Hope you have a great day.